basically, you can think of blockchain as being a collection of these data blocks, which are these green blobs here, and they are linked together. So basically, the latest block, which is here on the right-hand side, it contains some data, but it also contains a fingerprint, what we call a hash, of the previous block in the chain. And that in turn has some data, which contains a fingerprint of the previous block to it in the chain, and all the way back to the first block. And this gives the chain of data, this blockchain, integrity, because if we go edit, and manipulate adversarially some block in the middle of the chain, we would have to go and recompute all of these hashes in order to update the chain to have integrity so that these digital signatures match all the way along. And it turns out that it's actually quite difficult to do this because we have this thing also in the block called nonce. And what this means is it's basically just a dummy value, just a number, okay? But we choose that number so that the hash, the fingerprint, exhibits a characteristic pattern. And it's very, very hard to choose a nonce such that the hash of the entire block, the fingerprint of the entire block, exhibits this characteristic pattern. And this process of finding this nonce is what we call mining. And basically, when we want to add a new block, append a new block onto the blockchain, we need to find the nonce through this exhaustive search that takes a lot of computational power by people all around the world in order to make that block valid on the chain. This is what gives this particular kind of blockchain its integrity, the challenge, the difficulty of mining that new block. Because if it were easy, then we could just, as I say, manipulate a block in the chain and recompute everything straight away, all these fingerprints. But actually, because it's very difficult, it takes about 10 minutes for anyone in the world to find the next block, the next nonce. It would take so long to recompute the whole chain if we manipulated it, that by the time we'd done that, somebody would have just added on the next block somewhere else around the world. And the rule is the longest chain wins. So this is basically how blockchain works.